So I wanted to go ahead and post a video because it's been a while, and what better story to tell than air travel, because there's always something, right? Even though really it wasn't all that yesterday. For those of you who don't know or didn't know, I had to go to Phoenix and come back all in one day yesterday. The only good thing about having a to and fro in one day is really just the lack of luggage. But anyway, so of course the day starts by going to the airport. Which wasn't that big of a deal. Security, however, I have only flown out of Hobby in Houston once before and don't remember or didn't remember it being an issue. But I got there and I thought, it's in the middle of the week. It's like, 9 o'clock in the morning, so it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, I was wrong. It was like this sea of people. And, I really would have thought for a regional, or well, maybe not regional, but, national flight, getting there an hour and a half before you take off should be plenty. However, the line was horrible, and the only reason I wasn't the last person to board is because there was two ladies who were actually in the gangway before me, but they were folding up their strollers, and that's the only reason they boarded after me. Other than that, I really would have been the last person on. But anyway, so no big deal. I did manage to get my flight. And those of you who have been following my whininess on Facebook know that I've been kind of sick lately, the last week or so. So very congested, not just in the throat or in the chest, but sinus congestion. My ears are all plugged up from my allergies on top of that, so really not good. Well, apparently my body decided that, wow, with this pressure change, we need to compensate for the pressure change, so let's go ahead and dump all of this mucus crap and drain it into Sabine's throat. I don't get sick in a plane. I've never have gotten sick on a plane. And I didn't yesterday, but let me tell you, it was harsh. My stomach wasn't upset, but I had this gag because my throat kept getting filled up with I don't want to gross you guys out, but it was not good. It was not good. Anyways, so yeah, that was unpleasant. And I would say probably maybe the first 30, 45 minutes, maybe even the first hour of that 3-hour trip, I was doing a lot of swallowing. So anyway, so that was that. So, of course, I land in Phoenix, no big deal, get a cab. And I'm like, it's like this 15-minute drive. And, 10 minutes of that is getting off of the airport grounds. And it's $25. And now, admittedly, that included a $3 tip, but really pathetic. So anyway, get to the event, had a great time. I mean, I really did. So, the event ended up going a little longer than anticipated, and so I'm running a little bit smidge when I leave the hotel. Now, the hotel where the event was held was, of course, some snazzy, fancy, snooty, Sheraton. So when you get down, or when you walk out, there's 9 concierge type of people that are there to assist their elite patrons with anything they might need. So anyway, they'll come up to me and they're like, so, blah, 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 what do you need? So I'm like, I need a cab. Where would you like to go, ma'am? And I was like, I got to go to the airport. And he says, the concierge person, he says, well, we can call a cab for you, ma'am, or we do have a town car with a driver available to take you to the airport at a flat rate. So I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, great. But I asked, I said, so what's the flat rate? And he goes, $25. I'm like, well, shoot, that's the cab, might as well, right? So he waves the guy over, the driver, over, and the driver pulls the car around and comes up. And as he gets out, I'm not really looking at the driver because, I'm still talking to the concierge guy, and I'm thanking him. So I don't really know, but for some reason, I'm not really looking at this guy's face until he comes around the car and he takes my hand to help me in the vehicle, which, by the way, young guys that are listening, there is something sexy about a dude who treats you like a lady, is all I gotta say. So anyway, so he hands me into the vehicle, and I look up to say thank you, and the all lady-like behavior disappeared because I said thank you, or something like that, because my jaw just about dropped to the floor because the dude, he looks like that guy from Transporter, Jason something. I cannot remember his last name, but I'm telling you, it was like, oh my God, I'm being transported by the transporter. This is so cool. So anyway, of course I'm in the back of the car and he drives and we make small talk. mostly about the weather, which, by the way, I'm very perturbed because I fly from Houston to the desert, basically, and Phoenix had a high of 76. There's just something wrong with that when you fly to the desert and it's 10 degrees colder there than it is where you left. So anyway, that's just a side whine. So Jason, whatever, and of course it wasn't, despite the best efforts of my friends who are trying to tell me that maybe he was, researching for a new role. It's like, whatever. The guy did have a sexy voice, not unlike Jason's, whatever his name is, but no British accent. Too bad, because that would have just been over then. I'm not sure I would have made it home. I'm just joking. Anyways, okay, so that was that. Okay, so I'm at the airport, and, he drops me off at the airport, and of course it's time to go through security again. The line in security at Phoenix Sky Harbor, whatever the hell the airport is called, much, much less intimidating than the one at Hobby was. Except for this little dude that apparently had something to, compensate for. He stood at the end, after they check your ID, and then you go over to the belts where you take off everything. And that's pretty much, what he yelled, once you get to this point, remove your shoes, take off your belt, blah, 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 strip for my pleasure, kind of thing. So anyway, so we got there, and of course, you're supposed to take your laptop out, and I didn't have a laptop, but I did have my iPad, and I figured, well, that's kind of like a laptop. So I took it out, did my thing. And I walked through the metal detector thingy, and I didn't beep. Well, actually, I never beep. Sometimes it beeps. But in this case, it did not beep. I did not beep, and it did not beep. So I thought I was cool. And I turned towards the belt. And then right at that time, the guy that was manning the X-ray machine for the bags held up my bucket. It was like, whose stuff is this? And I raised my hand ever so elegantly. That's mine. It's gotta go through again. And I guess that's code for check her out, because he made my stuff go through. He separated out into 3 different bins. I mean, keep in mind, I had a purse. That's all I had. Admittedly, I have the, Mary Poppins purse that holds everything, but I did not bring a kitchen sink this time. So anyway, so my bag or my stuff had to go through the X-ray again, and I got to go into the X-ray machine. So yay! I should get the results in a week or so. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, it was kind of exciting, I guess. I must look very suspicious, very terrorist-like. So yeah, that's that. And then, of course, the return flight, Southwest, what can I say? Actually, what can I say is the snacks. This time we had pita, what was it called? Pita chips of some sort. Actually, not bad. And honey roasted peanuts. I don't know if I'm like the only person in the universe that does not like honey roasted peanuts, but I don't like honey roasted nuts or sweet nuts at all. I like my nuts salty. Richard? Yeah, shut up. I did not mean to be obsessed, or not obsessed, or maybe I was obsessed. I'm obsessing about honey roasted peanuts. I'm distracting myself. I think I better just let it go. And we're not going to discuss nuts. Anyway, that was my day yesterday. Bye!